السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. النهاردة إن شاء الله هنتكلم عن Chapter 2 أوليفر تويست، ونبدأ بأسئلة وأجوبة وهناخد الكوتيشن إن شاء الله. Answer these questions. What do Fagin and the boys do for a living? كانوا بيشتغلوا إيه؟ طبعا they steal things like watches, handkerchiefs, notebooks, and they are thieves. طبعا بيسرقوا ساعات، مناديل، دفاتر من الأولاد، حتى بيسرقوا الأكل من الأولاد. they are thieves لأنهم كانوا لصوص. Why does Fagin live in such an old dirty house if he has a box of gold, watches and jewelry؟ طبعا الكلام ده جه بدري شوية لكن بنمهد للموضوع. ليه فاجن كان عايش في بيت قديم جدا زي ده وقذر على الرغم انه عنده فلوس وذهب؟ because he was a leader of thieves، كان يعني رئيس لصوص، and he didn't want the police to know him، ما كانش عايز يعرف او البوليس يعرف عنه انه هو مع فلوس. why did Mr. Brownlow take Oliver home؟ ليه مستر براونلو اخذ أوليفر لبيته؟ who do you think the woman in the painting is؟ وتعتقد مين الست اللي كانت في الصورة؟ because he was a kind man، هو مستر براونلو كان طيب. I think that she was Oliver's mother. هنعرف طبعا، احنا بنستبق الأحداث الأول. هنعرف إن هي فيما بعد هتبقى أوليفر. that might be part of the reason that Mr. Brownlow was kind to Oliver. ربما كان ده سبب أو جزء من السبب اللي يخلي مستر براونلو طيب مع أوليفر، as she may be his real mother طبعا، أو is a relative كقريبة ليه. How does Fagin find out where Oliver is؟ كيف عرف فاجن إن أوليفر فين؟ Why does he want to find him؟ وليه كان عايز يعرف مكانه؟ He sent Nancy، هنعرف دلوقتي إنه هو هيبعت نانسي to the police station لاسم الشرطة where she knew that Mr. Brownlow took Oliver، حيث هتعرف إن Mr. Brownlow أخذ Oliver. He wanted to find him because he was afraid that Oliver would tell the police about him، خايف لحسن أوليفر يبلغ البوليس عنه. Why was Oliver careful to hide when he saw people in the street؟ نرجع بقى لبداية الشابتر. طبعا الأحداث دي أنا اديتها لكم في الأول عشان تعرفوا إيه اللي هيحصل في الشابتر، لكن دلوقتي بداية الشابتر لما هرب وماشي في الشوارع رايح لندن. Why was Oliver careful؟ ليه كان حريص جدا إنه يستخبى when he saw people in the street، لما كان بيشوف الناس في الشارع؟ because he thought they would want to take him back to Mr. Sorbury، خايف لأي حد يجي كده يروح ماسكه واخده ومرجعه لمستر سوربري. Why did Oliver relax after a few hours؟ بعد عدة ساعات ليه بقى حس إن هو مستريح؟ because he was sure no one was following him now، لأنه بدأ يتأكد إن مفيش حد بيتبعه في الطريق للندن، وإن مستحيل يبقى في حد ماشي وراه عدة ساعات. How did Oliver feel immediately after escaping from Mr. Sorbury's house؟ إحساس أو كيف شعر أوليفر عندما بدأ يهرب من البيت بتاع مستر سوربري؟ How did his feelings change after a few hours؟ وليه أو كيف أحاسيسه اتغيرت؟ He was careful to hide when he saw people in the street. طبعا عرفنا إنه كان بيستخبى من الناس. But after a few hours، بعد عدة ساعات، he relaxed، بدأ يستريح ويتأكد إن مفيش حد ماشي وراه because he was sure no one was following him now. What did the sign that Oliver saw say؟ العلامة بتاعة المرور اللي في الشارع كانت بتقول إيه؟ بتقول London 70 miles، لندن 70 ميل. Why did Oliver decide that London would be a good place for him to go؟ ليه قرر إن لندن تبقى مكان بالنسبة له رائع إن هو يروح ويهرب للمكان ده؟ because Mr. Bumble would not be able to find him in that great city. مستحيل مستر بامبل يروح يمشي وراه ويلاقيه في لندن المليئة بالسكان. And there would be so many opportunities for him. وهيبقى بالنسبة له في فرص عمل كثيرة جدا جدا. How long did Oliver follow the signs to London? ما طول المدة الزمنية اللي أوليفر فضل يمشي ورا اللوائح اللي في الشارع أو العلامات اللي بتدل على مدينة لندن for 7 days. يبقى فضل ماشي 7 أيام. On his way to London في طريقه وهو ماشي where did Oliver sleep؟ أين كان ينام؟ And who gave him food؟ ومين اللي كان بيعطيه الطعام؟ He slept in fields. كان بينام في الحقول في المزارع. And ate very little from a few kind people who gave him food. وبياكل أكل بسيط جدا من بعض الناس الطيبين اللي كان بيقابلهم في الطريق. Where did Oliver sit to rest on his way to London؟ أين أوليفر جلس لكي يستريح في طريقه وهو رايح لندن؟ طبعا قعد in the street of a small village في شارع وفي قرية صغيرة جدا. Who came؟ مين اللي جه and sat next to Oliver؟ وجه قعد جنب أوليفر when he sat to rest لما قعد يستريح on his way to London في طريقه. هيتعرف على مين دلوقتي؟ A boy of about his age. ولد من عمره تقريبا. Who was wearing a man's coat. لابس بلطو رجالي كبير. And a tall hat. وطاقية كبيرة. هنعرف اسمه جاك داوكنز. What did Oliver tell Jack Dawkins when he first met him? ماذا أوليفر قال لجاك داوكنز عندما قابله لأول مرة؟ He told him he was going to London. قال له أنا رايح لندن. And that he had almost nothing. وإنه ما معهوش فلوس خالص. What did Jack Dawkins tell Oliver when he first met him? جاك داوكنز بقى قال إيه أوليفر لما قابله أول مرة؟ قال له his name is Jack Dawkins. أنا اسمي جاك داوكنز. His friends call him the artful dodger. وإن أصحابه دايما بيقولوا له إيه artful dodger بيدلعوه. He told him that he knew a man وقال له إنه عارف راجل في لندن who would give him work هيديه شغل and a room for nothing وهيديه أوضة ينام فيها بدون ما ياخد منه أي حاجة. How far was Jack Dawkins kind to Oliver? كيف كان جاك داوكنز طيب القلب مع أوليفر أو إزاي عطف عليه؟ He bought Oliver a meal. اشترى له وجبة أكله. And then said وقال له إيه he could show him the way to London وقال له أنا أقدر كمان أوديك إلى لندن. Why was Oliver disappointed؟ ليه بقى أوليفر خاب أمله وكان محبط when he reached London لما وصل and wished to run away again وكان نفسه يهرب مرة تانية because London wasn't as Oliver had expected or imagined. لقى الواقع ما كانش بيتخيل إن هي بالشكل ده. Jack took Oliver through streets. جاك أخده في شوارع that were poorer and dirtier than he had ever seen. كانت الشوارع دي فقيرة جدا جدا وقذرة جدا جدا عمره ما شاف زيها في حياته. Describe the house. اوصف لنا البيت that Jack took Oliver to. اللي جاك أخذ أوليفر وداه هناك. اللي هو بيت فيجن. They arrived in front of an old house. وصلوا إلى بيت قديم جدا. And when Jack called out. لما جاك بدأ ينادي. A door opened. الباب اتفتح. And they went inside. ودخلوا. Jack led him to a large and dark back room. أخذوا إلى أوضة كبيرة وضلمة في خلف البيت. With a fire in one corner. وفيها مدفأة يعني نار متولعة في ركن الأركان بتاعتها. What did Oliver find around the fire in the dark back room؟ لما بص أوليفر حواليه شاف إيه؟ Next to the fire جنب النار على طول an ugly old man، راجل عجوز وقبيح جدا with red hair، شعره أحمر. He was cooking something in a big pan، وقاعد بيطبخ حاجة كده في حلة كبيرة. 4 or 5 boys sat on old beds، 4 أو 5 أولاد قاعدين على سراير قديمة around the fire، حول النار. What did the boys do to Oliver؟ ماذا فعل الأولاد لأوليفر؟ The boys stood up، كلهم راحوا واقفين and began to take Oliver's few things from him، وبدأوا ياخدوا الحاجات اللي معاه. What did Fagin offer Oliver when he first arrived؟ ماذا فيجن عرض على أوليفر عندما وصل لأول مرة؟ قال له إيه؟ To sit down and have some food، قال له اقعد ريح وخد بعض الأكل أهو. Okay. What happened to Oliver after eating؟ بعد ما أكل ماذا حدث؟ He fell asleep، راح في النوم طبعا غصب عنه. What did Oliver do during his long journey to London؟ طبعا ده سؤال متكرر. كان بيتبع he followed the signs to London for 7 days sleeping in fields and eating very little. How was the room when Oliver woke up؟ الغرفة كانت عاملة ازاي لما صحي بقى أوليفر؟ It was very quiet، هادية جدا مفيش أي صوت. What was Fagin doing when Oliver wake up؟ ماذا فيجن كان بيفعل عندما أوليفر استيقظ؟ Fagin sitting at the table was sitting at the table taking some things out of a wooden box، بيطلع حاجات من صندوق خشبي. He looked carefully at a gold watch، ماسك ساعة ذهب وقاعد بيبص عليها and some expensive jewelry، وماسك بعض المجوهرات الغالية. Before putting them back in the box، قبل ما يحطهم بسرعة في الصندوق لأنه حس إن أوليفر شافه. What did Fagin do when he saw that Oliver was awake؟ ماذا فعل فيجن عندما حس وشعر إن أوليفر مستيقظ؟ He jumped up، قفز من مكانه and quickly closed the wooden box، وقفل الصندوق الخشبي بسرعة. He threatened Oliver، هدد أوليفر with a knife، بسكينة. asking him what he saw، قال له انت شفت ايه؟ وماسك له السكينة. What did Oliver think of Fagin and why؟ ما رأي أوليفر في فيجن في الموقف ده وليه؟ He thought Fagin must be a miser، هو اعتقد ان فيجن راجل بخيل جدا to live in such an old place، عشان يعيش في مكان زي ده with so much jewelry، ومعاه مجوهرات كتيرة and so many watches، ومعاه ساعات ذهب كتيرة. What did Oliver think Fagin used all his money for؟ طبعا ساذج جدا أوليفر، فبيقول ماذا اعتقد أوليفر ان فيجن بيصرف كل فلوسه على؟ طبعا to look after the boys، هو بيتهيأ له ان هو بيعتني وبيهتم بالأطفال الصغيرين ويصرف كل فلوسه عليهم. What have Jack Dawkins and Charlie Bates got from their work all the morning؟ ماذا حصل جاك داوكنز وتشارلي بيتس، شخصية تانية، حصلوا على ايه من شغلهم طول الصباح؟ Some silk handkerchiefs، جايبين معاهم بعض المناديل الحرير and some notebooks، وبعض الدفاتر والكتب. What did Fagin think of the handkerchiefs؟ ما رأي فيجن في المناديل اللي هم جابوها؟ They were good ones، قال لهم طبعا المناديل اللي انتوا جايبينها دي مناديل جميلة. But they had marks on them، لكن للأسف عليهم تطريز باسم طبعا صاحب المنديل. What was the game that Fagin taught Oliver؟ ما هي اللعبة التي علمها فيجن لأوليفر؟ ومعاه طبعا جاك داوكنز وتشارلي بيت. Fagin put a watch, a notebook and a wallet in his pockets، يعني حط قدامه ساعة ودفتر ومحفظة في جيبه and walked round the room. فضل يمشي حوالين الغرفة كده كأنه بيتمشى ومش واخد باله. As if he was looking in shops. كما لو كان بيبحث في المحلات. And Jack and Charlie then walked very close to Fagin. بدأوا يقربوا منه. And without Oliver realizing it, بدون ما يدرك Oliver, they suddenly had the watch, the notebook, and the wallet in their hands. طبعا جابوهم وخدوهم في ايديهم يعني نشلوهم. How successful was Oliver at Fagin's little game? قد ايه النجاح او نسبة النجاح اللي بتاعت أوليفر في اللعبة دي. He took the handkerchief from Fagin's pocket. أخذ المنديل and Fagin didn't feel him. وفيجن ما حسش يعني بمعنى آخر تلميذ شاطر. What couldn't Oliver understand after playing Fagin's little game? ما الذي لم يستطيع أوليفر أن يفهمه من هذه اللعبة؟ How taking handkerchiefs could make someone successful. ما كانش فاهم ازاي عشان يسرق أو ياخد مناديل من الناس الموضوع ده ازاي يخلي شخص ناجح. When was Oliver ready to go into the street? امتى بقى كان أوليفر جاهز إنه ينزل الشارع of London? With whom did he go? وكان راح مع مين؟ After a few days, بعد عدة أيام of practicing من التدريب على السرقة واللعبة دي with Charlie and the Artful Dodger. طبعا كان هينزل مع تشارلي بيت و Artful Dodger اللي هو جاك داوكنز. Whom did the two boys try to rob? مين اللي الولدين دول حاولوا يسرقوه؟ A gentleman رجل who was reading كان واقف يقرأ a book كتاب outside a bookshop خارج محل كتب. When did Oliver realize that the boys were thieves? متى أوليفر أدرك إن الولاد دول كانوا لصوص وحرامية؟ When Oliver watched as the two boys walked quietly behind the gentleman and carefully took a handkerchief from his pocket. عندما الولدين هو داوكنز وتشارلي قربوا من الراجل وبدأوا يسرقوا منه المنديل اللي معاه. What did Oliver do when the gentleman turned around and said, "Stop, thief"? Okay, did he succeed? Oliver started to run away. لما الرجل دور وبدأ يقول حرامي حرامي طبعا ما عرفش يعمل حاجة إلا إن أوليفر يهرب. But suddenly Oliver fell وقع over and a crowd of people stood all around him. راحوا محاصرينه وماسكينه. How did the gentleman find Oliver after being caught by the people in the street? كيف إن الرجل اللي هم سرقوه ده وجد أوليفر بعد ما اتمسك by the people in the street بالناس اللي في الشارع. He found that Oliver was hurt. لقى إن أوليفر مصاب. What did Oliver tell the policeman? ماذا أوليفر أخبر رجل الشرطة؟ Did the policeman believe him? هل رجل الشرطة صدقه؟ He told him that it wasn't him. قال له أنا ما سرقتش. But the policeman didn't believe him. أكيد طبعا رجل الشرطة مش هيصدقه. How did the policeman lead Oliver down the street? كيف قاده عبر الشارع؟ طبعا رفلي بأسلوب ناشف وأسلوب جامد بيزقه. What was the gentleman's name? ما اسم الرجل اللي اتسرق؟ What did he tell the policeman? وماذا أخبر رجل الشرطة؟ What was the policeman's reply? وإيه رد بتاع رجل الشرطة؟ His name was Mr. Brownlow. طبعا اسم الراجل هنا كان مستر براونلو. He told the policeman قال رجل الشرطة that he didn't think that Oliver did it. قال له أنا متأكد أو لا أعتقد إن هو ده الولد اللي سرق. The policeman said the magistrate will see the boy soon. قال له إن القاضي هيشوف الولد قريب هيتعرض عليه. He will decide. هو اللي هيقرر. Why was Mr. Brownlow puzzled? لماذا مستر براونلو كان حيران؟ Because he felt as if he had seen the boy before. لأنه حس إن الوش الولد ده مش غريب عليه وإن هو شافه قبل كده. What did the magistrate decide on hearing what had happened? ماذا قرر القاضي عندما سمع ما حدث؟ He decided that Oliver should go to prison. على طول قرر إن الولد ده يجب إنه يروح اسم الشرطة أو السجن. Who saved Oliver from prison? مين اللي أنقذ أوليفر من السجن؟ وهاو وكيف؟ The owner of the bookshop. صاحب محل الكتب. He suddenly appeared. ظهر فجأة and told the magistrate. وأخبر القاضي that it wasn't that boy. إنه مش الولد دوت اللي سرق. It was two other boys. كانوا ولدين تانيين. He was with them. وهو كان معاهم. But he didn't take anything. لكنه لم يأخذ أي شيء. What did the magistrate decide? ماذا قرر الماجستريت after the testimony of the bookshop owner? ماذا قرر القاضي بعد استماع إلى شهادة صاحب محل الكتب؟ He set Oliver free. طبعا أطلق سراح أوليفر. ما فيش حاجة عليه ولد خلاص. On leaving the police station. عندما ترك أو غادر قسم الشرطة. What did Mr. Brownlow see? ماذا رأى مستر براونلو؟ He saw Oliver lying on the street. لقاه وهو نايم في الشارع outside. What did Mr. Brownlow do on seeing Oliver lying down on the street outside? ماذا فعل مستر براونلو؟ He called a coach. نادى العربية بتاعته and took Oliver home with him. وأخذ أوليفر معاه للبيت. Why didn't Oliver remember? ليه أوليفر لم يتذكر the journey inside the coach to Mr. Brownlow's house? ليه لم يتذكر الرحلة إلى بيت مستر براونلو؟ Because Oliver was very ill. كان مريض جدا وتعبان. How did Oliver spend the first days of his stay at Mr. Brownlow's house? كيف قضى أوليفر أول أيام لي في بيت مستر براونلو؟ He slept for many days. فضل نايم أيام كثيرة in a warm, comfortable bed. على سرير مريح جدا in Mr. Brownlow's large house. في بيته الكبير والضخم. What did Oliver say when he woke up? ماذا قال عندما استيقظ؟ What did Mrs. Bidwin tell him? He asked him, what room was it? أنا فين؟ إيه الأوضة اللي فيها دي؟ And she told him وقالت له to be quiet. يهدأ. And lie down. خليه نايم كده so as not to be ill again. عشان ما يتعبش مرة ثانية. Why was Mr. Brownlow puzzled? ليه مستر براونلو كان مندهش جدا when Oliver went downstairs. لما أوليفر نزل في الدور الأول. Because Oliver's eyes, عين أوليفر, the head, راسه, and the mouth were almost the same. كانوا بالضبط زي those of a painting. زي اللوحة of a pretty woman on the wall. لامرأة جميلة كانت على الحائط. يبقى عينه وراسه اوكي يعني شبيه جدا بالشخص اللي في الصورة. Why was Oliver amazed? ليه بقى أوليفر كان مندهش جدا when he saw the painting لما لقى اللوحة of a pretty woman لامرأة جميلة on the wall? Because Oliver's eyes, لأن عين أوليفر, the head, راسه, and the mouth, حتى بقه, were almost the same. كانوا زي الصورة بالضبط. As those of a painting, زي الصورة of a pretty woman on the wall. Where did Charlie and Arthur Dodger go after Oliver was taken by the policeman? أين ذهبوا بعد ما أوليفر قبض عليه؟ They ran back to Fagin's house. طبعا جريوا على بيت فاجن. How did Fagin feel on hearing that Oliver was taken by the policeman? إحساس أو كيف شعر لما عرف إن أوليفر اتقبض عليه. Fagin was so angry, بقى غضبان جدا, that he threw a cup of coffee at Charlie. لدرجة كان ماسك فنجان قهوة رماها على تشارلي بيت. Why was Fagin angry? ليه بقى كان غضبان جدا that Oliver was taken by the policeman. Because Oliver would probably tell the police where they were and what they did. خايف لحسن أوليفر يقول للشرطة أين هم عايشين فين وهم بيعملوا إيه حرامية. What did Bill Sykes suggest? طبعا ده واحد من أصدقاء فين. ماذا اقترح بيل سايكس؟ بيل سايكس قال إيه؟ The police didn't know Nancy. ما يعرفش نانسي واحدة اسمها نانسي. So she could go. ممكن نانسي تروح and found out تحاول تعرف وتكتشف what had happened. ماذا حدث. Who was Nancy? مين هي بقى نانسي؟ Why was she chosen? وليه تم اختيارها to go to Oliver عشان تروح اسم الشرطة at the police station. Nancy was a young woman. كانت امرأة شابة who worked for Mr. Sykes. بتشتغل عند Mr. Bill Sykes. Because the police don't أو didn't know Nancy. ما عندهاش أي سوابق إجرامية. What did Nancy find out about Oliver? عرفت إيه عن Oliver when she went to the police station لما راحت اسم الشرطة. A police officer told her, ضابط الشرطة قال لها إن he went somewhere in a coach with a gentleman. إنه راح إلى مكان ما يعرفوش مع رجل غني called Mr. Brownlow. How did Fagin feel when he heard that Mr. Brownlow took Oliver? إحساس فاجن لما عرف إن أوليفر راح مع واحد اسمه مستر براونلو. طبعا he was angry. كان برضو غضبان جدا. Why did Fagin want to find where Oliver was quickly? ليه أو لماذا كان يريد أن يعرف مكانه بسرعة؟ Because he tells anyone about them. هنقول because he might مش بلاش he tells me. Because he might tell anyone or someone about them. Why did Fagin give Nancy and the Artful Dodger some money? ليه أعطى فيجن نانسي وأرتفul دوجر بعض الفلوس؟ طبعا to search for Oliver. يروحوا يدوروا على Oliver راح فين. How did Nancy look? Okay, when she went to the police station. كيف كانت تبدو عندما ذهبت إلى قسم الشرطة؟ She put on her best clothes. لبست طبعا أحسن ملابس ليها. Why did Fagin, Jack Dawkins and Charlie Bates laugh at Oliver? ليه قعدوا يضحكوا على Oliver? Because Oliver was an innocent child. لأنه هو أساسا طفل بريء. He didn't know that the things were stolen. ما كانوش عارفين الحاجات مسروقة. So they laughed at his remarks. كان بيضحكوا على التعليقات اللي كان بيقولها. What would Fagin teach Oliver to do with the stolen handkerchiefs? طبعا كان بيعلم أوليفر ليه الحاجات دي. He would show him how to take off the marks on them. كان بيعلمه طبعا ازاي يشيل العلامات اللي موجودة على المناديل. Why did Fagin walk around the room pretending to be looking in the shop windows? طبعا ده الجيم اللي هو كان بيعلمه لهم. He was showing Oliver how to steal things from people. What did Fagin praise Oliver for? كان بيمدحه على ايه? Because Oliver could take a handkerchief from Fagin's pockets without feeling anything. بدون حتى Fagin ما يشعر. What did Oliver fail to understand when Fagin predicted that he would be successful? He didn't understand how taking handkerchiefs could make you successful. Why did Oliver not question Fagin's advice? ليه ما شكش في النصيحة؟ Because Fagin was kind to him and gave him food. When was Oliver ready to go out into the streets of London with Charlie and the other after a few days of practicing the game? طبعا دي كلها أسئلة متكررة دلوقتي. When did Oliver understand why Fagin had so many watches and silk handkerchiefs and such a lot of jewelry when he saw the Artful Dodger and Charlie steal handkerchiefs from Mr. Brownlow? He realized عرف في الوقت ده that the boys were thieves. How did Oliver get involved in a crime he didn't commit? كيف دخل في جريمة هو لم يرتكبها؟ He just watched the Artful Dodger and Charlie steal handkerchiefs from the gentleman who called out, "Stop thief!" When Oliver started to run away, he was caught by people. Okay, what did the magistrate decide first concerning Oliver, and why did he change his decision? He decided that Oliver should go to prison, but he changed his decision when the owner of the bookshop said that Oliver didn't steal anything. Show that Mr. Brownlow was a kind-hearted gentleman. He tried to prove Oliver's innocence. حاول يثبت البراءة بتاعت Oliver in the police station. When he saw Oliver lying down on the street, he decided to take him to his house to look after him. Why did Fagin predict? ليه Fagin تنبأ that Oliver would be as successful as Artful Dodger? إن هيبقى يعني بنفس النجاح بتاع Artful Dodger, as he was skillful. إنه كان ماهر جدا when he could take a handkerchief from Fagin's pockets without feeling anything. True or false? Oliver walked 70 miles to London. True. They entered دخلوا London in the morning. True. London was as beautiful as Oliver had expected. False. Jack Dawkins led Oliver to streets that were poorer and dirtier than he had ever seen. True. Fagin was angry that Oliver had seen his watches and jewelry. True. Fagin and the boys lived in a dirty old house. True. Now read the following quotation and then answer the question. I hope you have been at work this morning, boys. Who said this to whom? Fagin said this to Jack Dawkins and Charlie Bates. What kind of work were they doing? They steal things. What did Oliver think they had done? He thought they played a game. It wasn't that boy. It was two other boys. He was with them, but he didn't take anything. Who said this? Mr. Brownlow to the magistrate. And we can say also the bookshop owner to the magistrate. Who is that boy and the two other boys? طبعا that boy, the boy was Oliver, and the two other boys were Jack Dawkins and Charlie Bates. What happened as a result of these words? The magistrate set Oliver free, and Mr. Brownlow took him to his house. But what is this? Look there. Who said this? Mr. Brownlow. Where was the speaker? In a room downstairs. What was the speaker looking at? He was looking at a painting of a beautiful woman on the wall. You look hungry. شكلك جعان. Where are you going? Who said this? To whom? Jack, the Artful Dodger, to Oliver. Where was the addressed person? أين كان الشخص المخاطب اللي هو Oliver going, and he was going طبعا to London. What did the speaker do when he knew that the other person was hungry? He bought him a meal. I'm going to London. Who said this? To whom? Oliver to Jack Dawkins, the Artful Dodger. Why was the speaker chosen or choose going to London in particular? Because Mr. Bumble wouldn't be able to find him there. Secondly, there would be so many opportunities. فرص كتيرة جدا للشغل for him. How did the addressed person, كيف الشخص المخاطب ده, help the speaker to go to London? He showed him the way to London. Have you got a room there or any money? Who said this to whom? طبعا Jack Dawkins اللي هو Artful Dodger قالها لإيه؟ لأوليفر. What was the addressed person's answer? الرد بتاع أوليفر إيه؟ He said that he had almost nothing. تقريبا معهوش حاجة. How did the speaker offer to find the other person work and a room؟ ازاي يعني نصحه انه يلاقي اوضه ويلاقي شغل. He said he knew a man who would give him work and a room for nothing. مقابل لا شيء. Well, I know a man who will give you work and a room for nothing. This was said by Jack Dawkins, Arthur Dodger, to Oliver. Who was that man? The speaker was talking about Noah Fagin. Would that man really give work and a room for nothing? Why or why not? No, he would make the boys steal things for him in return. What did you see? He shouted, taking a knife in one hand. Who asked this question? To whom Fagin asked this question? To Oliver. What was the other person's answer? He said that he saw nothing. What did that person really see? He saw Fagin taking gold watches and expensive jewelry out of a wooden box and putting them back again. I hope you have been at work this morning, boys. Who said this? To whom? طبعا Fagin قال كده to Jack and Charlie. What kind of work was it? It was stealing things from people. What did they get that day? They got some notebooks and some silk handkerchiefs. They are well made, aren't they? Who said this to whom? Fagin said this to Oliver. What were they talking about? They were talking about some notebooks and handkerchiefs. Who brought those things and how did he get them? Jack Dawkins and Charlie got them. He stole them from people. They're good ones, but they have marks on them. Who said that? These words to whom? Fagin, to Jack, Charlie, and Oliver. What does the word ones refer to? عايد على إيه كلمة ones هنا? It refers to some silk handkerchiefs المناديل. What did the speaker suggest concerning taking off the marks? He suggested showing Oliver how to take off the marks. The boy is so very young. Who said this? Charlie said this. Which boy was he talking about? He was talking about Oliver Twist. Why did the speaker say so? Because of Oliver's innocent remarks of the stolen things. عن الملاحظات اللي هو أشياء اللي اتسرقت ما كانش يعرف إن هي مسروقة. Let's have breakfast. Then we'll show Oliver our little game. Who said these words to whom? Fagin, to Jack, Charlie, and Oliver. What did he mean by our little game? He meant stealing things from people's pockets. What did Oliver think at first of this game? He thought that the game was very funny. Very good. Now you try, Oliver. Who was speaking? Whom did he praise? مين اللي هو مدحه by saying very good. Fagin was speaking. Okay, he praised Jack and Charlie. What did the speaker want Oliver to try? He wanted him to try to take a handkerchief from his pocket. Did Oliver succeed in this try? Yes, he did. Okay, was it gone? Well done. Very, very good. I felt nothing. You're a clever boy. You will be as successful as the Artful Dodger. Who said this to whom? Fagin said this to Oliver. What does the pronoun it refer to? It refers to the handkerchief that was in Fagin's pocket. What did the address person, الشخص المخاطب, fail to understand when he heard this? He failed to understand that this يفهم how taking handkerchiefs ازاي عشان اخد منديل من واحد could make you successful. ازاي ده يخلي الواحد ناجح. Look, he will do. هو الدور عليه بقى. Who said this? To whom? Jack, the Artful Dodger, said this to Charlie. Who were they talking about? كلموا عن مين? Mr. Brownlow. What did the speaker mean by he will do? He meant that the victim was a gentleman, إن الضحية هي راجل, and they could steal some things from him. ويقدروا إن هم يسرقوا منه. Stop him! He's a thief! Who said this? About whom was it said? People in the street. It was said about Oliver. Was that person really a thief? And why? Why not? No, he wasn't. He didn't steal anything. Why was that person accused of being a thief? ليه تم اتهامه إنه هو حرامي? He was with Jack and Charlie when they stole a handkerchief from Mr. Brownlow, who called out ولنادى "Stop thief!" When Oliver started to run away, طبعا Oliver اضطر يجري. People caught him. طبعا مسكوه. It wasn't me. مش أنا. Who said these words to whom? أكيد Oliver said this to the policeman. What did the speaker deny? ماذا أنكر المتحدث اللي هو Oliver؟ أنكر إيه؟ He denied stealing anything from the gentleman. قال له أنا ما سرقتش حاجة وأنكر تماما. Was the speaker innocent or guilty? هل كان مذنب ولا بريء؟ طبعا he was innocent. كان بريء، هو ما سرقش حاجة. Don't worry sir. لا تقلق يا سيدي. A magistrate will see him soon. يبقى في قاضي هيشوفه قريب جدا. He will decide. وهو اللي هيقرر. Who said this to whom? A police officer said this to Mr. Brownlow. طبعا قال كده لمستر Brownlow. Who would the magistrate see? القاضي هيشوف مين؟ What would he decide about him? وماذا سوف يقرر بخصوصه؟ طبعا هيشوف Oliver Twist. The magistrate would decide if he was innocent, إذا كان الشخص بريء, or guilty أو مذنب. What was the magistrate's final decision? قراره النهائي. He decided to set Oliver free. It wasn't that boy. ما كانش هذا الولد. It was two other boys. Who said this or that to whom? The owner of the bookshop said this to the magistrate. Who were those two boys? كان يقصد مين الولدين؟ يقصد Jack, اللي هو Artful Dodger, and Charlie Bates. How were these words very helpful to an innocent person or boy? ازاي الكلمات دي ساعدت ولد بريء زي Oliver? Those words or these words made the magistrate set Oliver free. طبعا أطلق سراحه وخلاص مش عليه حاجة. Why didn't you tell me this before? لماذا لم تخبرني هذا من قبل? Who said this to whom? The magistrate said this to the owner of the bookshop. لصاحب المكتبة. What did the speaker mean by this? كان يقصد إيه بكلمة this? That Oliver didn't steal anything. Oliver ما سرقش حاجة. And that it was two other boys. وإن في ولدين تانيين هم اللي سرقوا. What was the result of the speaker's knowing this? إيه نتيجة إن المتحدث عرف كده؟ He decided to set Oliver free. قرر يطلق سراحه. Poor boy. أيها الولد المسكين. Somebody calls a coach. حد ينادي عربية. He must come home with me. Who said these words? مين اللي قال كده؟ طبعا Mr. Brownlow. Why did the speaker want to take that boy to his house? ليه قرر ياخده معاه البيت؟ Because the boy was lying down on the street. نايم في الشارع outside the police station. He wanted to look after him. What does this show about the speaker's character? الحاجة دي تبين لنا إيه عن شخصية Mr. Brownlow? This shows us that Mr. Brownlow was a very kind-hearted person. إن قلبه طيب جدا. Lie down. نام. There is a deer. نام يا عزيزي. Who said these words to whom? Mrs. Bedwin, طبعا الخدامة بتاعت Mr. Brownlow, said this to Oliver. What was the speaker's job? وظيفتها إيه? She looked after Mr. Brownlow's house. هي اللي بتعتني بالبيت بتاع Mr. Brownlow. Why did the speaker ask the other person to lie down? ليه قالت له يرقد وينام? Because he was very ill. You look a little bitter, but what is this? Look there. Who said this to whom? Mr. Brownlow said this to Oliver. هو اللي قال كده لأوليفر. What did the speaker want to show the other person? عايز يوري له ايه؟ He wanted to show him a painting of a pretty woman on the wall. شاور له على لوحة فيها ست جميلة جدا على الحائط. What did the addressed person feel when he saw that thing and why? ماذا حس أوليفر لما شاف الصورة وليه؟ He was amazed. حس بدهشة شديدة. Because the eyes, لأن العيون, the head, الراس, and the mouth, وحتى الفم of the woman بتاع الست دي in the painting were almost the same as his own. بالضبط عاملين زي راسه وعينيه وهكذا. Stop wasting good coffee. لا تضيع القهوة الجميلة. Who said these words to whom? Mr. Sykes or Bill Sykes or Bill said these words to Fagin. طبعا لما دلق القهوة على شارلي بيت. لما راح يقول له إن البوليس قبض على أوليفر. Why did the speaker say so? Because Fagin threw a cup of coffee at Charlie. What had happened that led that person to waste that coffee? He heard that Oliver was caught by the police. عرف إن أوليفر قبض عليه. Sorry, Bill, but we have a problem. لكن عندنا مشكلة. Who said these words? طبعا اللي قال له كده Fagin. What did he apologize for? اعتذر عن إيه? He apologized for throwing a cup of coffee at Charlie. إنه رمى القهوة على Charlie. What problem did they have? إيه بقى المشكلة؟ Oliver was arrested. طبعا قبض عليه. And he could tell the police about him. وخايفين لا يقول للشرطة عنهم. We need to speak to him quickly. لازم نكلمه فورا. Who said these words to whom? Mr. Sykes or Bill Sykes قال كده طبعا لفيجن. Who did they need to speak to? أكيد عايزين يكلموا Oliver. Why was it necessary? ليه كان بالضروري for them to speak to him quickly? It was necessary to speak to him. كان ضروري يكلموا فورا to him quickly because he might tell the police about them. خايفين لا يقول للشرطة عنهم. The police didn't know Nancy or don't know Nancy, so she can go and find out what happened. Who said these words to whom? أكيد كده Mr. Bill Sykes said this to Fagin. Who was Nancy? مين هي Nancy? She was a young woman who worked for Mr. Sykes. What made these people worried? كانوا قلقانين ليه؟ Okay, Oliver was arrested قبض عليه and he could tell the police about him. خايفين يقول الشرطة عنهم. A police officer told me that he went somewhere in a coach with a gentleman called Mr. Brownlow. طبعا دي الشهادة بتاعت ضابط الشرطة. Who said these words to whom? Nancy said this to Fagin. يبقى ممكن راحت برضو لما تخبر فيجن عن الموضوع. Who did they try to get information about? عاوزين يحصلوا على معلومات عن مين؟ بالتأكيد عايزين يحصلوا معلومات عن Oliver. Why did they need to find that person quickly? ليه عايزين يعرفوا معلومات عنه بسرعة؟ They were afraid he would tell the police about him. خايفين يقولوا الشرطة عنهم. Don't stop until you find him. ما توقفوش إلا لما تلاقوه. Not even for a minute. ولا تريحوا لحظة. Who said these words to whom? طبعا Fagin said this to Nancy and the Artful Dodger. Who did they want to find? عايزين يجدوا مين؟ أكيد عايزين يجدوا Oliver. Why was it necessary for them to find that person? ليه كان ضروري إنهم يجدوه؟ Because they were afraid he could tell the police about him. Nothing, sir. Can I get up now? Who said this to whom? Oliver to Fagin. Where were they? At Fagin's house. طبعا ده quotation في البداية خالص. What was the answer to these quotations? Of course, he can get up. I don't think he did it. Who said this to whom? Mr. Brownlow to the policeman. Where were they then? At a police station. Who are they talking about? They are talking about Oliver. Okay, you must be quiet or you will be ill again. Lie down, there is a deer. Who said this? To whom? Mrs. Bedouin, to Oliver. Where were they then? At Mr. Brownlow's large house. What was wrong with the addressee? He was very ill. Oliver will probably tell the police where we are and what we do. Who said this to whom? طبعا Fagin to Bill Sides. What did the addressee suggest? Because Oliver would probably tell the police where they were and what they did. Who is Nancy? Nancy was a young woman who worked for Mr. Sides. We need to speak to him quickly. The police don't know Nancy, so she can go and find out what's happened. Who said this? To whom? Bill Sykes to Fagin. Who is Nancy? Nancy was a young woman who worked for Mr. Sykes. What did Nancy find out about Oliver? A police officer told her that he went somewhere in a coach with a gentleman called Mr. Brownlow. A police officer told me, طبعا دي متكررة. We must find out where he is before he tells anyone about this. دي متكررة برضو. Go and find Oliver متكررة. بكده نكون خلصنا chapter 2. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. باي باي.